Welcome to Set the Tone, the podcast, brought to you with support from BTL, the makers of M-Sculpt Neo. Natural beauty is the name of the game today, but not everyone agrees on what it means or how to achieve it. The Dr. Amanda Holden, medical director of Holden Timeless Beauty in Southern California, reached out to fashion and beauty influencer Nicole Hussey to explore the topic. Listen in as they talk today on Set the Tone, the podcast, brought to you with support from BTL, the makers of M-Sculpt Neo. M-Sculpt Neo offers 2 therapies in a single treatment for less fat and more muscle.
Thanks for joining us again today for the podcast. I'm Dr. Amanda Holden, and I'm glad you've joined us for another insightful dialogue about health, wellness, fitness, and beauty. As an aesthetic specialist in Southern California, I work every day at the literal intersection of these hot topics. It's so fun. Today I have with me a friend and a guest with experience in all of these areas, but she is especially knowledgeable about the world of beauty. That's because the Nicole Hussey has worked for so many years as a model. You may also know her from television and from her popular YouTube channel. She's an influencer with a lot to teach us, and I'm glad we have her here today. Welcome, Nicole.
Hello, it's so nice to see you.
I'm so glad you're here with me. I can't wait to talk to you.
I'm so excited to hear what we're gonna be chatting about.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fun content to cover. So I'm gonna pick your brain, okay? You ready?
Yeah.
So I've watched some of your videos, a lot of your videos, right? And you talk about lots of different cosmetic services. And you've said that you aren't interested in having any significant work done, which I think is very smart because no one wants to have too much of anything done. So tell me a little bit about that, and how does your approach to cosmetic treatments fit your overall philosophy for beauty in life?
I would say that it's really important. This is just all my opinion. I think everyone needs to do what they have to do for themselves and what they think is best. But in my opinion, I feel like beauty is all about feeling good about yourself and also embracing every part of yourself and not necessarily completely changing something to look like somebody else or to look not like yourself. I think it's really important to just make it more about enhancing what you already have, which is why for so long there was nothing specific I really wanted to work on. It was just okay, I am in my mid-20s, I want to start just preparing for when we get a little older and just the, preventative, whether if it's in the world of health and fitness and also with beauty and aesthetics. So it's just been kind of something that I feel like is important to just work with what you have, not too much change, because I feel like there's a lot of trends and stuff, especially in the aesthetic world and the beauty world even, where people are just wanting to look specifically like somebody or just looking at completely changing what they look like from when they were younger or whatever it is. And that's fine, but I just think my philosophy is just really enhancing what you already have.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I have tons of patients that come in and they'll show me the picture of you. Can I look like
me?
her? Yes.
No.
They literally come in and they're like, I want to look just like Nicole Hussey. You're a major idol to lots of people. And I have to break it to them that they weren't born with your beauty.
You're so sweet. No, but I genuinely that's really sweet. I didn't realize that, but that's kind. But either way, it's just kind of one of those things where it's more about if you see someone beautiful, if you see a celebrity and you want to look like them, I don't think it's even healthy to be I want those cat eye, there's all those trends, which is cool. But I think as long as you can get that effect while still looking like yourself, rather than being completely snatched or whatever. But like I said, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Not necessarily some people just want to rock looking like a doppelganger of Kim Kardashian, and that's totally fine.
Totally. And, you know, I oftentimes have to break it to people and say, hey, we're just going to be enhancing your natural beauty. We can't change the way you look. And I wouldn't want you to look unnatural or botched or overdone. So it's kind of interesting from my perspective, too, because I have the same exact ideals, like in that sense that you have for beauty, because we don't want to overdo anyone.
No.
We just want to slightly enhance what they naturally have.
And I feel like you're always, like, dealing with, like, fixing and botched situations, and like that's the one thing where I've only, like, literally the only person that's ever touched my face has been you, is because I feel like so many people can get really heavy-handed. There's, you know, the aesthetic world is just such a massive industry now that there's a lot of people who claim to be qualified and they're really not, and that's where we get people looking like trolls, and like, and that's fine.
Yeah.
too.
Everybody has their own
Everybody
look,
has
right?
but it's like when it gets too much, or you can just tell somebody is just like not trained for it properly. But nonetheless, I always felt like you've always made me always to look natural.
Yeah.
Like whether or not we're dealing with fillers or, you know, Botox or any type of products in that regard. It still looks natural, and I think it's just enhancing what we already have, which is important.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I do my best to really research and decide which even machines to bring in, whether it's for face, whether it's for skin, whether it's for body. And I know that you've specifically tried a few of the different machines, Sculpt.
Yeah,
you know,
love the
tell me your perspective. Like, how does it feel? What's your perspective about body sculpting with machines that you've tried here?
Okay, so I would say the Sculpt is my favorite, just because I've seen such a big difference in regards to, like, especially if you're dealing with, because you can do so many different areas, but for me it's mainly in the abs and, you know, the booty especially, I feel like has made a really big difference. The main thing I really love about the Sculpt is, like, as a mom and also just like working too, I'm able to like literally work out and multitask and answer emails and just do all of that in one. But I also think it's important to also, like, you know, sweat and like really get those endorphins moving. So I like the balance of both working out and using Sculpt. But you know, there's some people who may have, like, you know, that they can't, I don't know, for instance, if they had, like, what's something...
Knee surgery.
They've had a procedure done.
Yeah, you have a back issue. You have a herniated disc, and suddenly you can't have the same range of motion.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean, it's great for people like that, too. And isn't it nice not to sweat when you do Sculpt?
It's really nice. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's great. I wouldn't just heavily rely on it completely, but I love the balance of working out, and you can rely on it heavily if you want to, but I also think it's important to, like, actually work your muscles and, like, do that. So it's just nice when, you know, there's days where I'm like, I'm gonna take a day off, but actually I'm just gonna head over to Sculpt.
Exactly. We should be getting cardiovascular activity and sweating, and we should be doing other muscle parts, but now this is a supplement.
Yeah,
you know? It's a
nice.
supplement to our normal workouts.
Yeah.
So yes,
it's great.
Yes. Cool. Well, so let's talk a little bit about diet. So you've acknowledged in the past that you're one of those lucky people that has gotten in tune really with your dietary needs. And you said once that you know for certain that a plant-based diet will have you dropping weight personally. So talk to us a little bit more about how you stay fit, what you do for exercise, what do you eat, what do you avoid for you? Like, what works for your body?
So I would say I don't really like to put many labels when it comes to quote unquote dieting and just like the way you decide to eat, just because I think there also is a little bit of a stigma around that word dieting. But I know what you're saying in terms of, like, you know, what you just do to maintain, you know, whatever
every day.
it is. Yeah, every day. Like your lifestyle in
Yep.
terms of health. So for me, I would say I mean, I love a good, like, fast food moment, but for the most part, I think I just tried to, I know, I'm like, I can't help it, I need some chicken nuggets. But for the most part, when I'm at home, I try to basically eat as plant-based as possible. I'm not, like, a vegan or a vegetarian, but I, you know, also try to also, like, there has been times where I've tried to, like, gain weight, so I'd start to, you know, eat a little bit more, especially when I'm working out a lot in terms of toning. Like, I need that, like, protein and stuff. But when I go out to, like, dinner and stuff, it's like whatever I get to eat. I can't control myself. I can't control myself
Right.
when I'm out at a restaurant and
You
like
can
I'm
spoil.
ordering from a menu. Like, how am I supposed to be like, I'm not going to be that person that's like, can I have no butter with that? And can I have like no, just the vegetables, no rice, no meat? Like, I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's some people, oh, God bless servers, but literally, like, I just think control what you can at home, and also like don't restrict completely. I would say everything in moderation, and just in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's like aesthetically, beauty, health, fitness, just, you know, if you're craving a Jolly Rancher, which I had like 5 of them yesterday at my daughter's birthday party, I was like, okay, then we're not doing any sugar today. Like, that's just how the world works, you know?
It's that balance.
It's the balance, I think.
How do you typically fit in your workouts, and what workouts do you do on an average week?
So I usually will just do, well, at least with the pandemic, that's, I feel like, when I really got into fitness, because I really needed structure when we were all stuck at home, and I literally felt like I was going insane. But for the most part, I love Pilates. I think, you know, creating like these long, beautiful lines, and like just, you know, toning is really what I want to like focus on the most in terms of like building muscle, which is why I love the machines with M-Sculpt and stuff. But also it's just wonderful to, I don't know, I just like the low impact workouts.
Right.
But then there are times where I'll do like a booty challenge, and that's like 6 weeks long, and I'll just like do that. Like, that's what I'm in right now, is doing some sort of like tone it up, like a lot of stuff on the app. So I do a little bit of both.
Yep.
But I love Pilates and like yoga. That's like my favorite, because I feel like I'm like zen and like in my head. Whereas like when I'm doing squats, I like literally want to scream, but I do it anyway. You know what I mean?
You get much more of a mind body workout with yoga. That's for sure.
I know, right? But I love it either way. I mean, they're both fun.
So in terms of that, you're very well balanced, and I think that's really what we all need to do, is just be okay with always deciding, being able to order whatever we want at a restaurant, you know, do whatever exercise routine fits into our life that week. I mean, that's just who we are, right?
Yeah, and like
Doesn't
from
have
Monday
to
to
be so
Friday,
strict.
I'm usually home, or Monday to Thursday, I'm usually home. So I'll like not go out. But then on the weekends, if I'm going to a restaurant, I'm gonna get the steak and potatoes.
Yep. You're gonna be eating them.
I'm gonna be eating all of that, and like cake.
You're listening to Set the Tone, the podcast, supported by BTL, makers of M-Sculpt Neo. M-Sculpt Neo offers 2 therapies and a single treatment for less fat and more muscle.
So as a model, you probably recognize there are changing attitudes about body types, right? And what fitness really looks like. That fit physique, that toned type of body, is it tough for you to do those exercises without adding bulk, or are Pilates and yoga kind of your secrets to that? Do you have any secrets you can give anyone?
I don't know if I have secrets, but I would say for me, doing, you know, to stay toned and avoiding looking bulky was a big thing for me, which is why I don't rely specifically on weight training. I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. Like, as a model, I have to, you know, just maintain the, you know, my weight and stuff, and not in like any kind of drastic way. It's just that, and that's how I feel good and how I feel confident in myself, but I do it in a way that works for me. And I think Pilates really helps to strengthen. I also have like major back issues with my lower back, so I feel like Pilates really helps me. Of course, weight training is something that's great to like build muscle. So a lot of it is like booty sculpting and stuff like that. That's where I'll do
core build.
Yeah, that's where I'll do a lot of like the strengthening. But for the most part, I like really just I have to move. Like, I have to be active. I have to do something, whether or not if it's like 10 minutes a day, you know, 30 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, just get something in.
No couch potato all day for you.
No,
that's for sure.
I feel like quarantine like killed me, and I was like, I cannot do that anymore. And so now I'm just like, I've enjoyed it though, you know, kind of creating like a new type of lifestyle, because like I said, COVID really, you know, when we were in this lockdown, really made me specifically kind of structure my day and include that break from the household and my kid and really just focus on myself. Otherwise, like to do everything, it was just nuts, as you know. Like,
yeah. Did that change your perspective as far as your modeling career and what you're doing on online platforms? Like, how did COVID affect that part of your life? And are you living differently now?
Yeah, it was tough with modeling because it completely like shut down. I think literally the entire entertainment industry went down and really just like was struggling. Like even my boyfriend in the film industry, like it was something that everyone just had to like hold. But I think what was the most important thing, and what I kind of said to a lot of people that I worked with, was like find a pivot and really like see what you can do. So a lot of people who were in, and I'm just speaking specifically for the industry I'm in, is, you know, makeup artists and like hairstylists and you know, a lot of actors would just start, you know, they would get onto social media more and like, you know, just do things to like let that creative outlet out. And like hairstylists and like makeup artists were doing like, you know, how-to videos and stuff like, so everything became like so online based. And luckily, like I already kind of had that platform for YouTube videos and, you know, with social media. So I did my best to channel that. But in terms of like modeling, everything was just, it was hard, even for like the agencies and everything. Like people, I mean, but that's like for everybody was struggling, you know, like I'm sure like at Holden Timeless Beauty, like you guys couldn't operate.
Yeah, we had to shut down.
Yeah. And everyone did, you know, so it was hard. But at the end of the day, like I think I just did the best to pivot. And now but the best thing about I think what happened with having to like stop everything during COVID with our jobs was just to realize like we don't really, like for instance like castings and stuff, like we don't have to be in person. Like we can utilize and honestly save a lot more money too, rather than like flying to New York for a meeting or something or like whatever it may be. You can literally Zoom.
Now time
Everything
management
is like
is
remote.
completely changed, right?
Completely. And it's been wonderful. And I feel like for businesses as well, it's, you know, financially saved a lot of money for a lot of companies, but also just like being a little bit more flexible with families and like people who, you know, are working and have people to take care of and stuff. So that's been nice. But for the most part, castings, I don't have to be always driving up to LA. I can just get on Zoom and it's so much better. I'm like, why haven't we been doing this for so much longer?
Saving gas money, saving time, more time with the
I know.
daughter, you know, like all around
It's
great,
more
right?
expensive for them to like have us go up there. So you might as well just like, and a lot of shoots were also happening at home. So I was doing FaceTime shoots. So like literally a photographer would be Zooming or like FaceTiming with me and they would just be screenshotting while we were like shooting in the house. Like you take like an hour to like set up with lighting and like, you know, moving around furniture like in your living room or your bedroom and like literally screenshotting things and like creating video, like pictures and like everyone just pivoted and like made tried to get a little bit more creative, I guess. But it was hard, but it was also like
and I know you did your part distracting a lot of people with your YouTube videos. That, I mean, entertainment. You're an entertainer. It's really cool.
In ways, I guess. But I also think like I promoted so much loungewear stuff. Like a lot of the collaborations I was doing was like based off of like things that everyone was doing at home, whether it was like working or like working out at home, like some sort of like fitness thing, or it was like, you know, just like at home delivery services or just like loungewear. A lot of like self-care stuff because everybody was like craving that.
Right.
Because everybody was like taking care of everybody else in the house. But yeah, it was definitely something I had to learn a lot through. But at the end of the day, I'm like glad to like be back and like back on like set and like shooting and all that stuff. So that's cool.
Well, hopefully that's all behind us.
I
But,
know.
we just have to keep our fingers crossed. I know. Okay, so rapid fire at the end of our session here. So you're a model. You do a lot of product tests and demos online. We're not letting you go without some beauty tips. So tell us, what is the hottest or cosmetic or skincare trend right now that you would say?
Okay, so I would say let's start with skincare because I'm thinking about like makeup. I'm like I can't, but skincare I would say, everyone's really into. I think, have you seen like those things that are called like face gyms, where like you go in, it's like a facial, but they're literally like doing massages on your face and they're like sticking their. It sounds really insanitary, but they're wearing gloves, it's fine. And they like stick it, they stick their hands like in their mouth and like they're doing these like lymphatic drainage and like stuff like that. I don't know, I feel like those are becoming really popular. I think skincare wise, I think a lot of like hydrating, but even I think the misconception for a long time was like people with oily or combination skin couldn't handle like, being I don't want to say moisturized because they would look even more, like oilier or whatever it is. But I think just like that healthy glow, everyone's kind of going towards that. Whereas I feel like for a couple years, a lot of people were dealing with wanting to just kind of be like matte, or even with makeup too. It's become a lot of more of like enhancing what you already have. Like there's a lot of these like TikToks that I've seen where, it was like 2012, it was like the major like eyeliner, the lashes, the baking, the like just contour. And now it's just like minimalistic, like model off duty look, kind of just like glowy and as if you're not wearing any skin. And I love it, like I've never been one of those people that like started a beauty YouTube channel where I was mainly focusing on like makeup. Makeup is not my strong suit.
What about this whole brow trend that I've seen everywhere in 2021? Oh my gosh. I mean, at least in Southern California. So talk about that a little bit and what your opinions are on the brow trend.
So I love the brow trend. I'm such a big fan of just like the full brows. Like, do you remember when we would like pluck the crap out of? We can't swear on this, right?
No.
Okay, good. We plucked the living daylights out of our brows to the point where they were like not even there. And we would just like pencil like them in.
Thin, tiny.
Now, oh my gosh, I like look at that fact. I'm like, what did you do? And now it's taken like 10 years to grow the hair back, but nonetheless, I love like a full structured brow. I feel like it really just kind of frames the face, the brows. And then again, it's like all about like natural, like the laminating of the brows is really in right now. The microblading's really in, and I think a lot of people have just been wanting to like enhance what they already have, but also like people don't got time to sit there and fill in their brows every single day. Like people on the go are like, let's laminate, let's do it all, So I love that. I'm not really big into like the super heavy, like, like sometimes it looks like sometimes people like have like Sharpied in their brows and stuff where it's like super intense.
Way too much.
That I can't handle, but
I think we have a common thread of like having it enhance your natural beauty but not be overdone,
No, I don't. I feel like everyone is on this earth to look the way that they're meant to look, and I think if you're insecure about something, go ahead, like do what you need to do, but I think whether if it's makeup or, aesthetics, beauty, fitness, whatever it may be, I just think a lot of people need to just embrace what they have. But also if you want to enhance certain things, like we can do that. Yeah. But, I like the natural side of everything.
Yeah. And the people born with thick brows now can embrace them.
I know.
Have a dance party.
I know. I look at like guys' eyebrows that have never touched them in their entire lives. And I'm like, I envy you so much. Yeah.
Okay. Last few. What makeup is your absolute necessity?
A brow gel. So I'm I just find, not any kind of brow gel. I need a brow gel that's literally going to like glue my brows to my skin. But then you can wash it off. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I haven't done the laminating thing, which I do want to do, but I just think something for the brows because I think that really frames the face.
People will have to DM you for your tip because you gave me a great one and I love the brow gel.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? It's so good. And then there's also, what else do I love? I just love a good, like, something that makes you look a little like sun-kissed. So whether or not you're like literally running out the door, like when I do drop-offs for my kid at school, or I mean, honestly, I'm not really wearing makeup then. It's just when I'm in like a hurry, I'll just do brow gel, and then I'll take like a cream blush that's like kind of looks kind of like a peachy, rosy tone that kind of looks like you just were like sitting under the sun for a little bit. I'll run it right over my cheeks, over the bridge of my nose, on the other side of the cheek, and I just look like I'm not a zombie, which is like what I think everyone's trying to do.
You look amazing with just those two things, which is cool.
Those are like my like absolute necessities. I don't really care about my eyelashes that much.
Yeah.
It's mainly like skin.
Yeah.
And brows.
Great. What is the biggest makeup mistake you see people make? I'm going to ask you three areas. Actually, makeup, eyes and mouth, and then what's the biggest hair mistake you see people make?
Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people, they mistaken like concealing, like if you have dark under eyes, right, for instance. Yes. It's one thing to have like that darkness, that bluey, like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people have that like darkness, right? And for me, I'll see people and I can see that they've just gone in with concealer thinking like packing on the concealer when really it's like, wait, first, like if we really want to get rid of those dark circles, we're going to need to like correct it. So you use something that's like, there's a lot of like, you know, correctors out there that you can apply, but basically you just tap it on and blend it out, and then you go on top to basically conceal the corrector. It sounds like a lot of work, but it's really, I mean, I do it all the time because I don't sleep. It's just, I don't sleep at all. But so I go in with like a corrector, because if you just go in, if you have like those dark under eyes and you go in with just a concealer, it's going to look kind of miscolored. Like it's going to look kind of gray, if you will. So correcting just to also, it helps with brightening too. So who doesn't want a bright under eye?
Absolutely. Yes.
But you know, now that we mentioned that, the people who are literally putting concealer that's like 10 shades lighter than underneath their eyes, where it literally looks like white out, I'm
both of them are terrible, right?
Why?
What?
Why do we do that?
What do you think people make a mistake with lips? Like lips or mouth area?
Okay, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but I think people don't realize the power of lip liner. Like, I'm also like highly critical in my mind. Like, I'm not gonna like judge people, but I'll if I'm like talking to someone, like that like inner voice in my head is like, you need lip liner. Like you just have lip gloss on.
At the grocery store, I'm like, you need Botox.
I know, right? But like we don't say it to people. Like we all have that voice inside our head. You know what I mean? Yes. Like it's a conversation I have with myself. I keep it to myself. But nonetheless, it's like, you know, I just think lining the lips is almost like it's like going around, if it's like wearing lip product without, if you don't wear a lip liner, I'm trying to phrase this correctly, but it's basically just, I feel
wearing
like
a shirt without a bra.
That I'm not that mad about it, but for the most part, it's like not wearing. It's like having a full face of makeup, but not having your brows done. Like not doing anything to your brows. I'm like, something is a little off. But like some people may not know. But like someone like me, I'm gonna be like, girl, you just throw in a little bit of lip liner, and you will be like, and you can literally make your lips look 5 times the size that they are. I mean, not that everyone's into that, but I'm just saying you could really manipulate the lips. Yeah. With like a lot of the times I just use lip liner as a lipstick sometimes. Because it's just, you can, that's what I'm wearing right now.
You can fill it on. Your lips look fabulous.
Thank you.
So what about hair? Biggest mistake with hair? This is your last hotspot question.
Oh my gosh, with hair. I would say if you are going to do like a balayage, like you have beautiful balayage and you've done it right. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
There's some people, and don't take this like personally, if you have like brassy hair, it's totally fine, but like go get a blue tone shampoo. I would say a lot of people who, like for instance, if you have like dark hair and you're doing like the blonde, beachy kind of like, you know, summery look with the balayage and ombre. I don't think people call it ombre anymore because I think it's a little outdated, but I think the balayage is so beautiful. But when the hair starts to turn like orange, and I'm like, Literally just like go to Walmart and grab a blue shampoo. It's so quick and easy. Like you can tone your hair so much quick. Like you don't have to go into a salon to tone your hair. You can literally do it at home. That I would say drives me nuts. And here in Southern California, we see a lot of like the balayage, like the beachy look, which is so stunning. But if you don't keep up with it, you're gonna look like you have copper hair.
Yeah,
like, and
could be a disaster.
It could,
Yes.
but and things like that are just like simple. I don't know, hair trends. If you're gonna wear clip-in extensions, make sure we don't see the clips in the back of your head.
Yes.
Because I don't want to be standing in the line at Sephora or at a grocery store and I can see your track in the back of your head. I'm like, girl, just like unclip, lift a little bit more, and there we go. Like, I don't know. Like sometimes I don't. It's just one of those things that really
drives you crazy.
I'm just very meticulous about certain things, you know?
Well, so we've heard lots of things from you. It's fun to hear the brow trend and that do your brows. Don't put too much under your under eye area to cake it on, right? Use a lip liner, right?
Use a lip liner. Like literally it'll save your life.
And ask your stylist, if your hair is getting brassy, ask your stylist what toner to buy. And don't do that little clip-in thing with your extensions where anyone can see. Otherwise, let somebody else do it for you.
Literally. So, you've said it perfectly.
I love it all. So you guys can follow Nicole. You can watch her videos on YouTube. You can follow her Instagram. So I want to thank her so much for joining us today. This has been really fun. And I want you to tell everyone where to find you.
Okay, so if you guys want to see my YouTube channel, I do like vlogs where I'm just like yelling while I'm driving, or I have like beauty videos and fashion videos. You can just type in Nicole Elise on YouTube, and then to find me on Instagram, it's Nicole Elise. And you can find me, I just started a TikTok. You can also find me there. It's called It's Nicole Elise, and everyone says I sound like Kourtney Kardashian, so that entire platform is dedicated to me doing just like Kourtney Kardashian vibes, you know?
I love it. That's funny.
I tried to sound like her for a second. But yeah, so you can find me, just, it's Nicole Elise anywhere, you'll find me. But
yeah, and you will be entertained. That's for sure. So that's it for another exciting episode of the podcast from BTL. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Be sure to listen to other episodes in the series and stay tuned for more.
Thanks for joining us. Whatever your vibe, we hope you enjoyed this episode. You can catch previous episodes of Set the Tone, the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. And stay tuned for future episodes. For more information on Emsculpt Neo from BTL, visit bodybybtl.com.